Dark Shadows, number 65, ETR 31967, air 33167, take one.
My name is Victoria Winters. The roads that lead to Collinwood are dark and deserted at night. Collinwood has known such nights before. It was on such a night as this that an act was done. A man died. It was on a night such as this that torment began for several people. The torment of secret guilt.
Say it again.
I can't.
Say it again, Sam. I want to hear it again.
I'd been drinking. I hardly ever drank in
No,
those
not
days.
that part. Just the last.
The man was wearing a dark coat. Even I couldn't see him until the headlights of the car picked
No,
him up.
not that part. The man was hit. He was lying in the road. The car stopped. Then what?
The car stopped on the other side of the road from where I was standing.
Yes, that's it. Then what?
Then I looked in to see who was driving.
Who was driving the car, Sam?
Who? Roger.
Louder.
Roger, behind the wheel.
Roger was driving the car, not me. Say it again, Sam. I want to hear it one more time.
It was Roger driving, not you.
Roger. And you saw it all.
I saw it all. Roger killed that man. Not you. My wife was sick. I needed money, desperately. I was to give Roger my paintings, and he was to give me money for them. Of course, the money really was for my silence. That accounts for my sudden windfall, for the fact that I was able to take my wife to the hospital in Boston. Of course, it was too late. She died there. The money, it was worthless. So I started to drink. My work began to suffer, and you know the rest.
Prison is a terrible place.
I know.
No. No, you don't know. But I do. And your silence sent me there for 5 years.
I know.
Prison is hell. And I was innocent.
Do you think I haven't thought of that every day for 10 years? Do you think there has been a night that has passed that hasn't been infected by it?
You told him?
Everything.
Paul, you told him?
Yes, I told him.
I knew you would. Pop, I'm so proud of you. What are you going to do, Burke? Are you going to send him to prison?
I was in jail for 5 years.
I know.
Don't you think he deserves it?
No.
After what he's done to me?
I know what he's done to you, but I know what he's done to himself, too. Don't you think he's suffered in a prison of his own?
It's not the same.
I know it's not the same. I mean, if I had a choice between...
You don't know what you're talking about.
Burke, I'm not saying that you didn't suffer. I can imagine the rage you must have gone through, knowing that you were innocent and Roger was guilty.
You can't imagine it at all.
All right, then, I don't know. But I've seen my father suffer for 10 long years, day in and day
Oh,
out.
Maggie, stop it.
Pop, I won't. You've been punished enough, and I think that Burke ought to know that.
Oh, you know what Burke is interested in. You've known that from the beginning.
Well, if it's justice you want,
Justice. He's not interested in justice. He wants revenge. Isn't that what's kept you going all these years, Burke?
Yes.
then you're determined to get even.
I don't know.
What does that mean?
It means I don't know. I've waited for this moment for 10 years. And now it's finally come at last.
Whatever you do and whatever you decide, make it fast.
I want to think about it. The different things I might do to you. To Roger. To Roger Collins from Collinwood. Yes, I want to think about it. All the things I might do to you and to him. My old friend, Roger.
I've done all the explaining I'm going to do. It's late and I'm tired.
So am I. I'm very tired. I'm tired of this man acting as though Collinwood were his home.
Well, at the moment it is. I thought I'd made that clear.
For the moment. Well, it's proving to be rather an extended moment.
Roger, you have to understand that Jason was Paul's friend.
Oh, that part I understand. His being here. That much I do understand. It's you who I don't understand. You've never liked strangers around here any more than I have. Less, as a matter of fact.
Jason isn't a stranger. Not to me, anyway.
Well, stranger or not, the one thing you've never tolerated is to have people snooping around here.
What do you mean? Has he been exploring again? Have you seen him?
There, look at you. The very idea freezes the blood in your veins.
That doesn't answer my question. Have you seen him someplace where he shouldn't be?
Yes?
Where, in the basement?
No.
Well, tell me where you've seen him where he shouldn't be.
Everywhere. Here, upstairs, on the grounds. As long as he's at Collinwood, he's someplace he shouldn't be. He doesn't belong here, and you know it.
Well, he is here, and he's going to stay here until I ask him to leave or until he wants to go.
And when will that be?
I will not discuss it anymore.
This man is taking over Collinwood.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm not being ridiculous. He's not a guest. He doesn't act like a guest, and you know it.
What's he done? Taken some of your precious brandy?
His taking it is one thing. His attitude toward taking it is another. He doesn't drink my brandy. He drinks his brandy. He's not living in your house. He's living in his house.
This is my house, and Jason is fully aware of it.
Well, he certainly doesn't act like it.
Nor do you, on occasion.
That was not only unfair, that was cruel.
Well, you forced me to say it.
No, I didn't force you. Jason did, his being here. How much more will he force you to?
Do we have to go to Rogers tonight?
Right now.
But it's late.
I know. But we'll go up to Collinwood anyway. We'll wake Roger up if we have to.
Can't it wait, Burke?
My mind's made up.
But he's been through so much already tonight.
Let me go tomorrow.
No, we're going tonight, Sam.
No, I've been drinking too much.
You're cold sober and you know it.
Burke, please. Tomorrow will be soon enough.
No, it won't. It'll never be soon enough for me to see the expression on Roger's face when he finds out that I know. Come on, Sam.
He's not going.
No, Maggie. I have to do what Burke tells me.
He has no right to drag you out in the middle of the night.
He sends me to prison for 5 years and you talk to me about rights? Don't forget, it's my decision whether or not your father goes to prison.
I know.
Is it too much to ask him to come up to Collinwood with me now?
No. No, it isn't too much, Burke. Believe me, Maggie, it isn't. It's the least I can do.
But, Pop.
No, I'll be all right. Come on, Burke.
I'm sorry, Maggie.
Well, there's something in it for me, too. Roger never thought I'd have the guts to tell Burke. I've earned the right to see his face when he finds out.
Roger, join me in a nightcap.
No, thank you. I've come down for a book.
Ah. Trouble sleeping, eh?
I have no trouble sleeping. I simply enjoy reading at night, that's all.
I favor the taste of good brandy. A warm fire. Oh, the comforts of a home.
So I see.
Being away at sea for so long traveling makes a man really appreciate a place like Collinwood.
But doesn't Collinwood, in turn, make you miss your travels?
Not in the least.
Then you won't be resuming them shortly.
Well, no, I can't say for sure.
Well, then perhaps you'll allow me to.
I beg your pardon?
Perhaps you'll allow me to say that you'll be resuming them shortly. I suggest that you leave first thing in the morning.
Oh, I don't expect it'll be that soon.
Well, if you'll pardon my bluntness, I'm asking you to leave in the morning.
All right, I will.
You'll leave?
No, I'll pardon your bluntness.
My sister might be allow you to impose on her, but I certainly will not. I find your presence here a terrible imposition.
Then maybe we should try to keep out of each other's way.
I have no intention of keeping out of anybody's way. Now look here, Maguire.
Mr. Maguire,
You are a guest in this house.
then perhaps you'll treat me like one.
Or perhaps if you act like one, instead of acting as if you own the place.
I don't own the place. Elizabeth does. And you're absolutely right. I'm only a guest here. Elizabeth's guest, in her house. And I'm beginning to wonder how often I'm going to have to remind you of that.
How often do I have to remind you that you are not welcome at Collinwood?
Roger, what's going on in here?
Your brother has just been reminding me that I'm not welcome at Collinwood. Is that true?
I have been reminding him that welcome or not, he is a guest in this house, and the least he can do is act accordingly.
Perhaps I've misinterpreted your invitation to feel at home.
Yes, you certainly have.
That's enough.
Liz, I'm sorry. The last thing I want to do is to bring dissension into Collinwood.
I doubt that.
Roger, will you please stop it?
Not in this instance. I think this is the time to have it out. I've been telling you this in private, and now I'm telling you in front of Mr. Maguire.
This isn't the time.
It is past time, Liz. He's taking a terrible advantage of you, and I want him to leave.
Advantage? Well, of course I'm taking advantage. Advantage of this woman's warm and extraordinary hospitality. Why shouldn't I? When it's so freely offered.
He's mocking you, Liz. Can't you tell it in his voice?
Mocking?
Please. It's very late.
No, Elizabeth, I'm sorry. I think your brother's right. I think it's time we had this out.
Tell him to leave tomorrow.
Yes, Elizabeth. Tell me to leave tomorrow, and I will. For that matter, tell me to leave tonight, and I will. You've only to say the word.
Say it, Liz. Say it.
Roger, will you please stop?
Yes, go on, say it, Liz. I'm sure it won't reflect on our long, long friendship. And I certainly won't have any effect on the deep, deep understanding we've always shared. The memories of other days. Memories of your husband.
She wants to forget completely about her husband.
Don't be too sure. Of course, there are some memories, I'm sure, that I can't possibly let you forget. So, just say the word. The decision is entirely yours. Tell me to leave, and I will. Immediately.
Liz, please.
Well, Elizabeth, you must decide. May I stay?
Yes, of course you must stay.
Liz.
Well, then, if you want me to, of course I will. And now, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Thank you very much indeed. I can't tell you how relieved I am now that we've had this out. Well, I hope your poor brother is satisfied. Your invitation to stay couldn't have been more explicit.
You must forgive Roger. He's quite puzzled by it
Oh,
all.
of course, I forgive him.
How generous of you.
But I would very much appreciate it if my stay here at Collingwood weren't periodically interrupted by these ugly scenes with him.
We are not, as you know, a gregarious family. Surely you can understand Roger's resentment.
Oh, yes, of course I understand it, but I don't enjoy it. Would you make sure that he doesn't express it again?
Jason, I can tell you to stay when Roger tells you to leave, but I can't dictate his reactions to it.
I suggest you try.
It wouldn't work. Roger's one independent area is his temperament.
But I'm sure you could curb it if you really cared to.
Perhaps I don't want to.
Liz, please. I'd like to enjoy my stay here at Collingwood. And I would appreciate it very much if you would really try. But then, of course, I'm sure you'll do all you can for old time's sake. Good night, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, aren't you going to wish me a good night? I said, aren't you going to wish me good night?
Good night, Jason.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Who is it?
Sam Evans.
Sam. What do you want? It's terribly late.
I got to see Roger.
Well, can't it wait till tomorrow?
Oh, it's very important.
Burke! What are you doing here?
Well, like the man said, we want to see Roger.
Well, you can't. He's gone to bed.
Would you be so kind as to wake him up?
I won't do anything of the sort.
Mrs. Stoddard, I wouldn't shut that door if I were you.
You have no business at Collingwood. Now, will you please leave?
Yes, I have every business at Collinwood. A very important business with your brother.
This is ridiculous.
I think you'll change your appraisal when you've heard us out.
Well, please, Mrs. Collins, it's very important, Mrs. Stoddard.
Well, what is it?
If you'll go get Roger, you'll find out soon enough.
Please, both of you. I've had a very difficult evening.
So have we all.
If you want to see Roger, you can arrange to see him in town at some respectable hour.
No, we'd like to see him tonight.
Sam, will you tell me what it is?
Well, it's really something between Burke and Roger.
But Sam is involved, as you'll find out.
It doesn't involve those paintings of yours. You wouldn't have come at this hour because of them, would you?
No, not exactly.
Please, can't you tell me why you're here?
I think you know.
No, I haven't the slightest idea.
Really?
No, I don't.
Yes, I think you know. Now, will you please get Roger?
What is all the racket going on down there?
Hello, Roger.
What are you doing here?
We've come to talk to you, Roger. Both of us.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.